morning and welcome to the Aired Out podcast from Fly on the Wall Productions, North Main Street, Barrie, Vermont, on the web at airedoutVT.com. National Donut Day today, and I'm sure that a good number of the polling stations across our nation will not forget about donut lovers this morning and during the day today. I'm not sure if they're serving up donuts up at the polls up at the Barrie Auditorium, but we'll find out here in just a little bit. Weather from NBC5 this morning. Starting out cloudy, and in some towns, depending on where you are, some rain showers coming down. But yeah, at least it's warm. We're looking at lower 60s later today. Tonight, partly cloudy and 55. And then Wednesday, tomorrow, 68 degrees and partly sunny. Are we going to be breaking records tomorrow, temp-wise? I would very much assume so. Yes, we have, listen, Becky dropped one of the first comments this morning and said, good stressful morning. No, Becky. No stress. Deep breath now. Come on. We're going to be all right. Take a deep breath. Let it out. It's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. Tonight, starting at 7 o'clock when the polls close, and I think most of you know, I just really never listen to the radio. But I got to say, man, over the decades, nobody does it better for live coverage of what's going on locally here in Vermont than WDEV. And tonight at 7 o'clock, as tradition holds and will always be, with the last of the Mohicans, which is what I refer to when I think of WDEV, they will begin live coverage at 7 o'clock tonight, AM 550, FM 96.1, and in Barrie, 96.5 on the dial. If you even still know what your radio is. And, of course, you can stream live, too, on WDEV, radiovermont.com. But they always do such a great job. Lee Cattell, Joel Nashman, the rest of the team there, Brent Curtis, the list goes on. But great bunch of guys. And good morning, Jen. That's where my radio's going to be. It's going to be on WDEV tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. I'm going to start out this morning, and we're going to go live up to the Barrie Auditorium here in just a second, and see if we can connect with the Michaels. But this is the morning where I'm like, you know what? We are, and Becky wants it. We're going to start out with the Daily Dose of Feel Good this morning. I saw this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm reading that on the air. I love this kind of stuff. It says, JD, this is the third year in a row that I've done this. And I know this is a couple of days dated here, but I'm like, I saw it. I'm like, I'm doing this. We're starting to get a reputation. I'm pretty sure I heard a kid say, we have to go here. This is the best house in the neighborhood. I love seeing and hearing the kids' reactions. I don't think I'll ever get tired of that. Many mistakenly called them king-sized bars. I guess compared to the mini ones, they look pretty big. There's nothing better than seeing a kid's eyes bug out when you give them a full-size Snickers bar or Kit Kat for Halloween. We had well over 200 trick-or-treaters this year, and I still had to give kids backup candy. I'll make sure that I'm better prepared next year for at least 250. But I've decided to leave work an hour early, and I'll be taking more time with my kids to get back into these trick-or-treating traditions of giving out full-size candy bars. And it goes on for, I mean, it's just a great note. Giving out full-size candy bars is honestly one of the highlights of my year. I just love seeing how happy it makes the kids. I don't mind the teenagers. I guesstimate about half of my trick-or-treaters were over 13 years old. Childhood, listen to this, childhood is so short. I am more than okay with letting them try to hold onto it a little bit longer. My own kids are growing up so quickly, I'm afraid to blink. This lady is basically budgeting for Halloween to give out full-size candy bars. And I think that is just, listen, I know Halloween's over. We're not supposed to be talking about Halloween anymore. Now, especially now that it's November, everything has to be about Christmas. We've forgotten about Thanksgiving. We're not supposed to be talking about Halloween anymore. It's in the rear view mirror. I get that. I understand that. But I saw this, and I'm like, I'm reading that on the air. It's the Daily Dose of Feel Good this morning. Don't care that Halloween's over. I love it. Let's take you up to the Barrie Auditorium this morning, where the polls are open and we'll be closing at 7 o'clock tonight. I think we have Michael Deering on the line with us. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, baby.
Tell me how it is up there, man. Is it busy?
Man, this place is popping like a concert. It's great. We have a lot of different people up here, from all young and old, to all different shapes and sizes, like myself, short and fat, kind of like an Oompa Loompa. But no, it's beautiful. Seeing all these people coming in and out. It's been a steady flow constantly.
All right, polls closing at 7 o'clock tonight. I think one of the biggest things, and you've stood your ground with how you feel on things and what you would like to do if elected. But I think primarily, for the most part, for you and for Michael Boutin, is the message, the important message of voting, no matter who you vote for.
Yeah, that was the Facebook Live message I did this morning. It's actually the only Facebook Live thing that I did this morning on my political page, was get out and vote. You know, people are constantly complaining about the prices of things and complaining about how things are. But when you only have at best like 20% people come out to vote, I mean, it's terrible. So really, I'm supporting the message of don't vote, don't bitch.
Yeah, well said. Already, about 80 million votes have been cast in America.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've never, in my lifetime, I've never heard anything like this. Ballot voting, 80 million so far in America.
It's crazy. It really is. I mean, and again, we talk about how busy things are here at the Barrie Auditorium, where I'm running for Senate and thinking about going to the other communities where I also representing potentially. But it's so busy here in Barrie City that I'm kind of thinking I might just hang out here for most of the day.
Yeah. It's National Donut Day today. Are there donuts up at the Barrie Auditorium? Yes or no?
I don't. I see some cookies, but no donuts. I could go for some donuts. Yeah. I look like a donut.
I'm sure. And listen, I hope there's going to be some food up there. We would love to chat with Michael Boutin if he's available.
Absolutely, Michael Boutin is available. I'm going to put him on the phone right now.
And I'm sorry, what's going on? Hello?
Phone with JD.
You're live. You're live on Aired Out. What's the atmosphere up there, Mr. Boutin?
It's really good. People are super excited. They're encouraged that, change is right around the corner, and I'm super excited about it. Yeah, no, I think things are looking pretty good.
1/3 of Vermont has already voted by ballot, Michael. What do you think of that?
I will say this: I am super surprised that how many people are up here. When I came up, there was a line. There was a line of people right before the polls open. I mean, there was a lot of people, and the fact that we have well over 2,000 that absentee ballot voted, that's pretty intense. I will say this for viewers: if you did absentee ballot, if you sent yours in absentee ballot, make sure you go to M as in Michael, V as in Victor, P as in Paul, .vermont.gov, and check the status of your ballot, because there were about 20 people in Berry City alone that their ballots were either the certificate wasn't signed or the ballots were not inside the envelope. And that means your ballot will not be counted. And you also want to make sure that the ballot was received. And if it's not received and in good order on that site, just come on up, speak to the clerk, and get it taken care of. Or if it's the certificate or the ballot inside, issue the envelope. I think you can cure it online.
Right.
So make sure you go there.
So it's generally pretty quick and simple. What do you need to produce? Just your license, your ID?
No, in the state of Vermont, we don't require license or ID for voting. You just come up, provide your name and your address, and then you'll be able to vote.
One more time on that website, please, if you would.
Sure. It's M as in Michael, V as in Victor, P as in Paul, .vermont.gov. So GOV. So MVP.vermont.gov.
Okay. Listen, and Deering just echoed this. The important thing that both of you and others have pushed over the weeks and the months, frankly, is just the importance of just getting out and voting, no matter who you vote for. Exercise your privilege to have this right, and exercise your due diligence and get up to the polls today.
Although I'll say this, if you live in Barrie, you should go to getrealbarrie.com and take a look at some of the bios of the folks that are running for office. There's a Barrie Town and a Barrie City. I'm going to do a plug. I'm just going to do it.
Well, sure, of course you should.
I bet you bet your booty I will.
Yeah.
Bootin, get it? Anyway, so for governor, obviously you should vote for Phil Scott, right? And I'm going to tell you that the rest of the people that I'm going to tell you that you should consider voting for, all are endorsed by Phil Scott, and he has repeatedly stated that he needs some help in the legislature, because that legislature has become so very detached from your average individual. So you've got John Rogers for lieutenant governor.
You think he'll win?
I think he's close. I think he might win. I think that this is a good year, and I think it's really good. I know that for Senate, a big proponent of Michael Deering, Michael Doyle, and Don Koch, and then of course for the state rep in Barrie City, Michael Boutin, obviously. I'm a big proponent of Carol Dawes. And for Barrie Town, I highly encourage people to vote for Gina Galfetti and Topper McFawn. Those are the tickets in Barrie City and Barrie Town that I think are are really poised to make a difference in the state of Vermont and the legislature.
What are the biggest issues in Berry City that you think really need the most attention?
So I'll say this, the education funding is a huge problem. The legislature has failed to do their job at making that understandable. I just heard that I just heard a very concerning information about the taxes in Berry City that when we did the calculation, man, it's concerning. I'll just say it's concerning. And I'm hopeful that what I heard is not accurate, but I'm sure folks will hear more about that in the coming weeks. That being said, the education funding needs to be addressed immediately, and it needs to be understandable, and more importantly, it needs to be affordable. And then clean heat standard. Berry City alone has like 60% of our housing is rental. Landlords are not going to go out buy heat pumps, right? So where's that fuel, that cost for that fuel going to go on to? That's going to go on to your renter, your average renter who can barely afford to pay for rent and put milk in the cereal bowl, right? So the Affordable Heat Act, which spawned the abomination, and I'm calling it an abomination, which is the clean heat standard, it could cost anywhere from, based on what I've read from Vermont Daily Chronicle and WCAX, could cost $2,500 per household on one report from WCAX. Another one, it could be like $1,500 per household per year. Whether or not it's that much, or $1.88, which I've heard somewhere, or $4 a gallon. Whatever it is, it's too much. And I'm sorry, that's not okay. Barry can't afford that. Barrytown can't afford that. Vermont can't afford that. Vote, I'm just going to say vote Republican for the most part.
Listen, as well as anyone, that I generally stay the hell away from politics. You know that on Aired Out.
I know.
This morning, being our election day, I mean, I'm talking about it this morning. You're talking about it this morning. Got a comment here saying Phil Scott cannot technically endorse anybody running for office. We also have another comment here saying that mental health is a primary focus of concern here in Vermont.
Absolutely. In Berry City, I mean, I think that the drug crisis that we're dealing with needs to be dealt with in an actual good way versus what we have been doing, which has been ineffective. I know that I can't speak for other people, but I'm a big proponent of rehabilitation centers, and not 15 days. It needs to be, 90, right? You can't get better on 15 days. And as for the drug dealers that are selling the poison in our community, sorry, I have nothing for you. You go to jail. I don't care. You cause the death of somebody in our community because you're selling drugs? No, I would support legislation to put those people in jail for a very long time.
I'm seeing this morning Dixville Notch results are in, and it's an even tie. 3 votes for Harris, 3 votes for Trump. Yes, 6 registered voters in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire. You think this is going to be any kind of indication on how things are going to go for the presidential race tonight? Yes,
I actually do. I think it's going to be close. There's been concern with Republicans that the absentee ballot results that folks are seeing in like Pennsylvania and everything is cannibalizing the Republican vote. But what does that mean? Because a lot of people don't know what that means. It's the Republican vote usually votes in person on the day of the elections. And the concern that folks are having is that people have just switched from voting in person on the election day to absentee ballot. based on what I'm seeing up here, and we had like 2,000 or more people put in absentee ballots. I'm seeing a lot of conservatives coming in today. So I don't know if it's a trend for the country, if it's similar to what's going around the country. I don't know if the Republican vote has been cannibalized. Those might be just low propensity voters.
There's a lot of comments and a lot of feelings about the Electoral College, and that a lot of us just don't understand how this all works, how this all shakes
Sure.
down.
So-
I mean, Trump is demanding this morning in the media that the results of the presidency be announced tonight.
Well, I mean, I get that, right? Like, who wants to sit here and wonder what's going on for the next 2 weeks, which has happened in the past,
Or longer.
or longer. Our country right now is really struggling, right? And I don't think that prolonging the results is a good thing, and that's not something that can be fixed now. It's too late. So it's going to take how long it's going to take. I'll say this: Vermont does the elections pretty stinking good. We have same day registration. I'm not overly excited about the mass mailing of ballots, just because I think it gets a little convoluted. But hey, you know what? This is only our second time or third time. Let's take a moment and try to see if it works, and maybe we can work out all the wrinkles in it.
Voter fraud is at an all-time high. The concern level on it is and has been very high for the last couple of weeks. And look what's in the media now. And maybe this is fear-mongering, I don't know, but the Russians are going to be hacking our elections. What say you on this, Michael?
Yeah, so I'll just tell you, I'm not a believer in the mass voter fraud stuff. Do I think it happens on a individual level, like a one-off? It's not it. Yeah, sure. Okay. It does occasionally, but there's a lot of things that happen that are not something that happens all the time. And I don't think it would have any impact on the elections. Voter fraud and voter intimidation, I do not think are an issue in the United States. I think it's blown up by party politics. And again, I'll just say that I'm confident in our elections. I'm confident that, I'm confident that things are not like that. And I only can say that because I worked at the polls for years. I worked at the polls from 6:30 a.m. till closing. And I did that so much that I just have very, very strong feelings towards our results, at least in Berry City. I can't talk to you about any other place.
Michael, thanks for hopping on with us this morning. Any other closing thoughts, comments?
Get out and vote. Make sure you check your mvp.vermont.gov page to make sure there's nothing sketchy, or not sketchy, but nothing's wrong with your ballot, so that you can get your vote counted. And hey, come up here to Berry City. We are going to have hot dogs. We're going to have apples. You're going to have pins for Michael Booten. And you know what? I'm going to have a smile on my face, and you should too as you come in to vote.
What about donuts? Because it's National Donut Day.
It's National Donut Day?
See, I told you I should.
It's National Donut Day.
Yeah.
You know
Should
what?
be donuts up there.
We're going to get some donuts. We're going to try to get some donuts.
All right.
We're going to get some. We'll get some donuts up here somehow.
Watch out for Deering, because he can put them down. Hey, final
I know.
question. Final
Sure.
question. If you have your ballot and you
Yes.
haven't mailed it yet,
Bring it up to the polls.
bring it up to the polls. So you can
Bring it up to the polls.
You can sit at home, fill it out. It'll take you a
Yep.
couple of minutes, and just bring it up to the anywhere.
Absolutely.
Any poll anywhere in Vermont, right?
Well, no. You have to bring your poll to your polling place.
Yeah, right.
So if you live in Berry City,
Of course.
you've got to come to Berry City's polls.
What I mean is no matter where you live, if you have your ballot at home and you haven't filled it out yet, just bring it to your local polling station before 7 o'clock tonight.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Hey, not a problem. You have a great day, and vote. Your listeners, make sure you get out and vote.
Yeah. And get some donuts up there. Very busy place, Berry Auditorium this morning. Other stories that are Vermont regional headlines from CAX and PTZ and Digger and the Times-Argus. A great editorial, by the way, in the Times-Argus this morning, written by Steve Pappas. If you haven't had a chance to read that yet, you really should. Well written. But here's just a few of the trending stories this morning. School teachers and school leaders and administrators in Vermont are working to combat COVID learning loss from remote study. And this is something, in my opinion, and I know you may share a different one, and that's fine. But in my opinion, I think we're going to be, I think the paddle upstream regarding this subject matter is a longer stream than we think it is, with a couple of twists and turns in it as well. I think we have a long way to go. And I think that the residual effects of COVID in general on our youth and our scholars has been profound. I think it will take a long time to rebound. What's normal? What's back to normal? I don't know. I just I see it everywhere. I hear about it all the time. And it's not just learning capacity, it's also behavioral and social interactions. The list goes on and on. Lily was in kindergarten when COVID hit, and was expected in kindergarten to be on a laptop at home. In kindergarten. Anyway, I could climb up on a soapbox about this, but I'll try to stay off. But it's in the news this morning if you want to read about it. I believe CAX has got that story. Burlington voters going to be weighing in on a bond that's going to support net zero energy goals for the Burlington Electric Department. That's going to be going on today. Of course, in Barrie, the bond vote on the water treatment facility, which I forgot to mention. We had our city manager, Nicholas Storelli Castro, who was on the air not long ago, talking about the importance of this and how quickly the water treatment facility is continuing to fail. It has been failing, and it is what did he say? One of the 3 digesters is working. What if that one goes down? I don't know. What is it? 7 point something million dollars for that bond. That Grantham doctor pleaded guilty yesterday in Burlington in the federal drug case. This is now the shuttered addiction treatment clinic in Vermont and New Hampshire that we're talking about. Guilty to conspiring to unlawfully distributing drugs. Let's see, comment here. So if Barrytown folks paying the city for water have to absorb that cost, why isn't it also on the ballot in Barrytown? That's a good question. Heather, if you get a chance, please go back and listen to the podcast episode with Nicholas. He does talk about Barrytown quite a bit. If my memory is serving me, which it often doesn't, I think it's something around 27 point something percent that Barrytown is going to be contributing to that. But don't quote me. And please go back and catch that podcast episode if you haven't yet. He went into some really deep detail about that. Yes. And we talk about the expense attributed to all of this. It's an interesting episode. Nicholas was just on recently. If you haven't caught that episode, you really should give it a listen. I highly recommend it. Let's see, what else? WellPath, Vermont's prison health services provider. Back in the headlines. One of the top trending stories in Vermont this morning. Headed for bankruptcy. A lot to be said about that. And, man, I would love to have a guest on the air to discuss that. National headlines, 24 states have sent National Guard troops to D.C. today for the election. 24 states in America. Are operating with significantly less National Guard troops because they're in D.C. Ugh. Are you on edge about today, tonight, tomorrow? Do you think there will be violence anywhere? Swing states, D.C., the Capitol, another insurrection. What do you think? Are you nervous to push through your day today? Are you anticipating any bad news or breaking news of things unfolding regarding the elections today? Just got a comment here saying, I'm sure there will be looting and streets on fire. I wonder. Ford Motor Company and U.S. auto safety regulators have ended the investigation into engine failures. A lot of people got new Ford motors in that recall. That's been buttoned up, all done. Along with Boeing workers, buttoned up, all done. They have voted to accept a contract offer and end their strike after how many weeks? 7. And one of the other national headlines that got my attention this morning, of course, the Pennsylvania judge that is allowing Elon Musk's Political Action Committee to continue $1 million giveaways to voters registered in swing states. Did I just say that? Did you just hear that? A Pennsylvania judge has decided to allow Elon Musk's Political Action Committee to give away $1 million prizes to voters registered in swing states. I don't know enough about the story. What's the deal? When you come in, you're registered to vote, you vote, and you write your name on a little piece of paper and drop it in the Maxwell House coffee can to win $1 million from Elon, who's standing there with his sharpened pencil and his checkbook. I don't know. But the judge says it's okay. Let's see. What's the other one? Oh, the 24-year-old kid who planned to attach, did you hear about this? C4 explosives to a drone and blow up a power plant in Nashville. Yeah. Glad they got him. Amazing. Becky's saying the judge probably got paid as well. Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Man, you go back and listen to some of the corruption that was going on in our judicial system back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, with the mob paying off judges, cops. Would it surprise me if Elon slipped a few bucks into the pocket of that judge? Wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. Why? Well, first off, because nothing surprises me anymore. I've given up being surprised. World news, we got Tropical Storm Rafael, who's forming in the Caribbean, expected to strengthen into a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico today and reach Cuba tomorrow. Monday Night Football, we got the Chiefs beating up the Bucks 30-24. Were you looking for Taylor Swift in the crowd? She was there. I know Glenn was. NHL, Bruins and Maple Leafs at 7 o'clock tonight. Celtics over the Hawks last night, 123-93. Community calendar this morning brought to you by Central Vermont's favorite weekly newspaper. Of course, that's got to be The World, reaching over 20,000 people every single week. vt-world.com for the online digital version, which you ought to check out. Veterans Day this coming Monday, the Barry Parade and Ceremony. Parade lineup is at the auditorium beginning at 10 a.m. That parade will be underway at 10:30. They're going to be serving up lunch afterwards at the American Legion post 10. Don't miss it. If you have any questions, Ron Tallman, 249-1376. Let's see. What else do we have? We got dinner tonight. What's on the menu? Meat pie with mashed potatoes. Whew. That's at the American Legion, post 10, Barry. They start serving up dinner around 5:30. If you would like one, it's dine-in or takeout. Either way. What is that? $12? $12. You got to call ahead. Let them know that you would like a meal, whether or not you're going to eat in or dine out. Grab it on the go. Grab it on the way home. But they ask you to call ahead first if you can. 479-9058. 479-9058. Meat pie and mashed potatoes. Lord help me. Can I take two? For myself. Let's see. And always keep an eye, by the way, on the Barry Post 10 Facebook page and the World newspaper for the menu. And then, if as if it couldn't possibly get better than meat pie and mashed potatoes, it actually does. After you have that, you get to play bingo. They do bingo at 6 o'clock. And I think it's an $1,100 jackpot every single week. That's huge. Get out and have some fun tonight. Don't sit at home. Get over to the Legion tonight, all right? Tomorrow, today is it Tuesday? Yes, it is Tuesday. Tomorrow is one of the most important days of the week. It's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. It's when most of us begin the process of pulling our hair out. So many of us get so worked up and stressed out. We have your solution. It's Wellness Wednesday. Washington County Mental Health puts this on at 23 Summer Street. That's the WellSpace building, starting at 4:30. Goes till 7 o'clock. Could there be a more important time to exercise some wellness for yourself? Probably not. The elections, everyone's all worked up and stressed out about one thing or another. Relieve it for a little while if you can. Go over and see the experts over there. If you want a massage or some Reiki or any of the other services that they provide, they ask you to call ahead, make a reservation. Just say, look, I'm going to be, my name's Glenn Brummert. I'll be there at 5 o'clock, and I would like to, schedule a massage. And they'll write your name down, and then that's it. Everything's free. Keep the wallet at home. Wellness Wednesday. They've been doing this for a long time now over at Washington County Mental Health, the WellSpace building. You get some tea. You get some meditation, maybe some acupuncture. Balin's going to be there. Love that guy. Come relax. Treat yourself. You deserve it. You know you deserve it. Washington County Mental Health has been serving Vermonters for over 60 years now. And when I say Vermonters, I'm talking about a whole heap of them. We're 6,000 plus Vermonters every year through Washington County Mental Health. So check them out on Facebook, WCMHS. And call Robin. Let's give you the phone number to make that reservation, okay? Do it now. Just do it. These are the two important things you need to do today. Vote and make a reservation for a massage tomorrow at Wellness Wednesday right here in Barre. Here's the phone number, 479-4055. 479-4055. I'll put it in the comments here. Robin's going to answer the phone. Tell her you heard JD talking about it on Aired Out and you want a free massage tomorrow night. Okay? Okay. Birthdays today, Sharon White, Tiffany Martin, Tanya Montana, Leslie Butterfield. Do you know these folks? Give them some love on Facebook. Embarrass them if you want to. Aaron Christian, Andre McCara, and my good buddy, Chris Autry. Not sure how old Chris is. Gonna guess. I'm gonna go with the big 5-0. I'm just gonna round it down to 50 for Autry. Love that guy so much. Gonna have the Capitol Showplace and Paramount Twin Cinema movies all posted up. Don't forget, and I know we're a ways away from the weekend, but don't forget, if it's raining on the weekends, keep watch of fgbtheaters.com for added showtimes, because they often do this. Not just to help the kids, but to help the parents too. Okay? Yeah, I mean, what else? Anything? We got November 16th. That's going to be here fast. 7 of Montpelier's bridges right there in the city, right there in the capital, are going to be lit up with those lanterns. They've got a big ceremony, and Montpelier Live is putting this on, live music and just all kinds of stuff happening. Starts again at 4:30 on the 16th, and obviously it's going to go right to and through dark. So bring the family out on that. Yes, we're going to be talking about the Barrie Elks Lodge Memory Tree Lighting Ceremony coming up on December 1st. You're going to hear us talking about that on Aired Out. Hopefully going to have a guest in on that. What's going on at the Barrie Auditorium with men's basketball? Yes, we're going to get into that as well. Wing-a-Ding Wednesday at the VFW Post 790 tomorrow night. I think it starts at like 5-ish, goes until like 7-ish. So after your massage over at Wellness Wednesday on Summer Street, get over to the VFW on the way home, grab some wings. Ron Tallman, amazing chef. He'll cook them up for you, whatever sauce you want on there. Plus, they do dry rubs, too. They got a salt and vinegar. They're great. I love the wings over there. I was there, 2 weeks ago? I think, something like that. Yeah, that's it. So, again, just get out today. Vote. If you haven't done so already, and if you have, thank you for doing that. Lily, on the way to school this morning, asked me a rather interesting question. And I don't know, I often get interesting questions from that 10-year-old girl. She said, "Dad, do you have to vote? And will you get in trouble if you don't?" Think about that today. We're very, very lucky to live in the country that we do. Just leave it at that. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Be good. Take good care.